The Cadillac CTS was one of the most interesting unveils at this year's New York Auto Show, and I've been joined by Edmunds executive editor Ed Hellwig to tell us what you thought of it.
Well, I think a lot of people were really surprised. I mean, this car has sort of been an in-between car in size-wise. Cadillac finally went all out, made it a mid-size car, and now it really does look like it can compete with an E-Class, 5 Series, XF, all those mid-size luxury cars that before it never really was in the same league.
And the styling feels like it's grown up a little bit too, doesn't it?
Yeah, the styling, they really have sort of taken that art and science styling and molded it into something that really it looks good, it has the right proportions. It's very aggressive in the front end, but throughout the length of the car, it sort of softens a little bit, and overall, it just gives it a really nice presence.
And inside, you've got lots of wood and leather, which you expect from every luxury car, but at least it's got a slightly different style.
Yeah, they've integrated their Q system, which is their sort of electronics package, and they've just done it in a way that maximizes the space of the dashboard and also gets rid of all the sort of buttons and knobs and switches, and it makes it very clean and just a very elegant interior, which is what you would expect.
But it still has that spectacularly frustrating user interface from the ATS.
Yeah, not the best interface we've ever used, but we're hoping that they'll kind of keep working on it, and if they do it right, it could become something that is really beneficial to the car. We'll see if that happens.
Gentle evolution. But more of a revolution is the engine lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they really shocked everybody with this new twin-turbo V6. I mean, 420 horsepower out of a V6. It's something that no one else is doing, so it really puts them in a kind of class of their own within that luxury segment. So that's something they can really hang their hat on and could be the real difference in how it competes with the Germans, which is their big competitors.
It's almost like a junior M car.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. If you look at that horsepower compared to cars 5 years ago, I mean, that would have just blown away V8s, and now it's getting in a V6 that'll get probably much better mileage, so it's pretty impressive.
And they're calling that the V-Sport.
The V-Sport, they're kind of playing off the V-Series, which is traditionally been their super high horsepower cars. It's kind of an in-between car, and certainly with that kind of horsepower, it will deliver on the sport end of it, and get some other wheels and tires, those kinds of things, but it kind of bridges that gap between the V-Series, which is much more expensive, and the standard CTS sedan.
And interestingly, it's both rear and four-wheel drive, so we're pretty good in the snow belt.
Yeah, that's super important in the luxury segment now, so they've sort of got all the bases covered, and that's going to help a lot in sort of boosting sales and getting the volumes they need to be a success.
And also Cadillac seems to be making its cars handle again. The ATS is a good car to drive.
Yeah, and this is essentially an extended version of that same platform, so we expect it to have many of the same characteristics, and you're right, the ATS is really one of the better driving sports sedans, and they took a lot of weight out of it. This weighs about 200 pounds less than a 5 Series, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, especially as the current 5 Series is lighter than the old one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty impressive stuff. I mean, Cadillac is certainly growing in confidence at the moment, but do you really think they can take on the E-Class, the A6, the 5 Series, the big Germans?
Well, it's going to be a tough road for them because they still got to prove to people that they deserve to be there. So this car will go a long way, but they need to get people into the seats and trying it out. So they got a big marketing task ahead of them. We'll see if they can get it done.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to driving it and finding out whether the CTS really can take the fight to the best of the Germans.